Welcome to Integrated Planning, where we take an integrated approach to growing and protecting your wealth. My name is Sophie Blais, and today we're going to be talking about saving or paying down debt. Today we're going to be talking about, should I pay down debt or invest? Great questions, and one that as planners we're often asked. So there are two different types of debt in the industry. One where you pay down the interest. The other one is where you pay off the debt by paying off interest as well as a portion of the debt on an ongoing basis. Also, there is debt that you can deduct from your taxes, and there is debt that you can't deduct from your taxes. So for example, you cannot deduct your mortgage from your income taxes. However, if you borrow to invest, you can potentially tax deduct the interest on the repayment on your income taxes. And really when you're looking at interest deductibility on debt, it's really important to work with your integrated planning team to make sure that you have all the information that you need and you're making the right decisions. There are two different types of interest that you might be charged on your debt. The first is a fixed rate, which is exactly as it sounds. It's fixed, it doesn't change. If you're paying 3% interest, you'll pay 3% interest through to the end. And then there's also variable rates. And variable rates can change and may go up or may go down depending on circumstances. So it's important to understand both and to look at both to see what might be best for you. It's important to understand the different types of debt that are out there so that you can determine how you should pay off your debt and in what order you need to pay off your debt. And again, I go back to that head and that heart. It is sometimes really difficult to make a decision as to what to pay off. So normally what we suggest in paying down debt is you pay your highest interest debt down first. So for example, I will always say if you've got high interest credit cards, and most of them are, that you pay those off and you keep them paid off on a monthly basis. The other thing you can do too is you can look at debt consolidation so that you have one debt payment that you're looking at versus multiple debt payments. Also too, it's looking at good versus bad debt, and mortgage debt, investing in a property, things like that, you might look at a little bit differently from other types of debt. So for example, debt that you've acquired to do retail purchases or going on a trip and things like that. If you do look at consolidating your debt, you often have the opportunity to pay off higher interest debts and replace it with a lower interest rate. And that can be really advantageous and make a huge difference to your financial plan and to your debt repayment. So that's an important thing to consider. The other common misconception that we see is you pay off your biggest balance first, and that's not necessarily where you want to start. Again, going back to looking at what your highest interest rate debt is and going and paying that off first. So, also too, it's important to consider how you're wired or what your money sensibilities are. Certain types of debt have prepayment penalties. Who'd have thought? You want to pay them and they're going to infringe a penalty on you. But things like mortgages, different restructured debt, if you do pay it back early, you may be subject to penalties. So it's important that you look at what those penalties are and how they might impact your financial planning. Sometimes it doesn't matter though. If you really want to get that debt paid off, it might be okay to take on the penalties just to satisfy your peace of mind and help you sleep at night better. So different people have different levels of comfort or tolerance around debt. I know individuals that are happy living and working out of a line of credit. I have clients like that. And I have other clients and know other individuals that they are extremely debt averse. And so they would rather have zero debt and their main objective may be to pay off the mortgage as fast as they can, even if there's other opportunities for investment available. So taking into consideration what your values are, what your goals are, is really important when you're looking at debt repayment. So should I pay down debt or invest? Opportunity cost. You're always looking at, option A versus option B. And in many situations, you can take the money that you have and decide between repaying debt or investing. And if you can invest and earn a greater rate of return than what your interest payment is, the mathematical answer might be to invest, right? So to invest that money, make it grow, and then you repay your debt over time. However, that doesn't take into considerations people's personal feelings or values around debt and what that looks like. And there are some individuals that would prefer to pay the debt off first, then looking at investing. But in many cases, you can come up with a balance between both to end up with the desired outcome that you're looking for. That's why working with an integrated planning team and making sure you're having really good conversations with your planner, your accountant, to help you make some of those decisions. Because even if the math tells you that investing is the better option, but you can't sleep at night and you're totally stressed because you have debt, then I would suggest that investing is not the right option. You need to look at paying down your debt. Your integrated planning team can provide you even more advice about where to take income from to do either of these two things, whether it's paying down debt or investing, through using the various planning tools that they have, whether it's the RSP, your TFSA, and other savings mechanisms. We would be remiss in talking about paying down debt versus investing if we didn't talk about the risk of borrowing to invest. And so many individuals will borrow funds in order to invest. They have the ability to write off the interest. There's some really great planning opportunities around that. However, investing always carries the risk of loss with it. So borrowing to invest can be a great planning strategy. Make sure that it fits into your risk tolerance, because not everybody has the appetite to borrow to invest. Every coin has two sides. If you choose to invest, you have the opportunity for gain and growth. You also have the opportunity for loss. So if you choose to invest and you lose the money, it's gone. On the other hand, if you pay down debt, again, it's a two-sided coin. You're paying down your debt and it's going away, which is fantastic, but you may have an opportunity cost to what investing that money would have grown to. So again, it's looking at what's best for you. It's looking at the solution that makes the most sense. And more importantly, a lot of this is a risk tolerance. It's based on your risk tolerance, and it's having really good discussions about, what are you comfortable in doing and what makes the most sense based on who you are, what your values are, and what you want to achieve. If you enjoyed what you heard today or you'd like to learn more, be sure to subscribe to Integrated Planning, as well as give us a thumbs up. If you'd like access to free resources, click the link below. Thank you for watching and looking forward to seeing you next time.